What's up, everybody? Andrew Mahone here with Darium's Competitive Pokemon, playing another game on PTCGO with Gardevoir GX. I think this deck is very strong, very good archetype. You know, it's one of the top 3 in standard format. It's even good enough that it can swing some things in expanded format as well. It's just one of the strongest Pokemon cards ever printed, straight up. I mean, just the flexibility of Gardevoir GX, being able to Twilight, throw resources back into the deck, accelerate to itself, and attack. Totally insane. I mean, but I guess it's about time that fairy types really got a very good, powerful Pokemon they get to call their own. Fairy types were kind of floundering there in the Pokemon TCG for a while. I mean, since their introduction with things like Xerneas EX not really cutting it, not really being good enough, which is funny because Xerneas EX was released along Yveltal EX in that XY set, and Xerneas EX was just so bad. And Yveltal EX was just like one of the best EX cards ever printed. So I feel like fairy cards have kind of just been in the shadows just for years and years, barely amounting to anything. There have been like some fairy cards here and there that have seen play and been playable. Like there was this Slurpuff that was played alongside Seismitoad for a little while, Seismitoad EX, and the deck was called Toadpuff, and the Slurpuff would just draw a card every turn, so you'd set up like 3 Slurpuffs, and then you're just playing Seismitoad with hammers, and you just get to draw cards every turn, and it was insane. So like that was pretty cool. But then, you know, there's like Rainbow Road is like kind of okay, and then you had like, you know, the Xerneas with the you know, I mean, I guess you could play like Xerneas Break, which is like just not all that great. There is the other Gardevoir EX, Mega Gardevoir EX, that does, what is it, like Brilliant Arrow or something like that, or it just does like more damage for the amount of fairy energy you have in play. And then there is the Xerneas that Geomancy's Xerneas like is a good card, like, you know, and if it were any other type, would probably have seen like a lot of play in some other different archetypes, but fairy was just so weak for so long. Speak of the devil, here's a Yveltal EX. Would you look at that? Let's go ahead and Ultra Ball. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with this hand here. It's just kind of a weird situation. I think I Ultra Ball for a Lele, right? But I think I also am just going to need to Ultra Ball way too fairy energy, which I don't like. I'm going to Ultra Ball for a Lele. And I want to go Lele for Bridget. And if my Bridget's in here, my Bridget is in here. And then I do have a play. So like this is cool. I can get Tapu Lele, Wonder Tag, get Bridget. And then what I'm going to do, yes, I'm going to search for a supporter card. I'm going to get a Bridget. And then I'm going to turn 1 Energy Evolution into my Espeon GX. So that's cool. And then the following turn, I'm going to get Eevee, let's see, Ralts. And I think we could even get a Remoraid. That might be good just to get set up. That, or we could get 2 Ralts. I think I'll get the Remoraid just to get up and going, since we do have the Octillery there. And I already have a Ralts in the active position. Then I'm going to Energy Evolution. Awesome. You guys get to see just how good this is. I'm going to get the Hyper Rare Sylveon GX. Oh, yeah. So we're going to get that one. And then you can see that I've set myself up here just for turn 2. I'm going to Guzma something up in Magical Ribbon while also evolving into a Gardevoir GX. So that feels pretty good. Feeling pretty stable about this hand. You know, it's a little bit of a bummer that I don't have a draw supporter squared away, but you can see there that I was able to make that hand work. I do play Super Rod, so I'm not feeling too bad about having to get those energies out. Looks like my opponent is playing Yveltal with Mew. Mew from Fates Collide. Use that Memories of Dawn ability just to copy Yveltal EX, so that's kind of interesting. I wonder what other cards my opponent might have in this deck, what else they might plan on copying with Mew. You know, why are they playing Mew to copy things? You know, I'm not really sure. So I truthfully have no idea what I'm playing against here. And this is like kind of a benefit to playing, you know, more rogue archetypes sometimes, is that your opponent really just has got no idea what you are doing. So it's cool because, you know, my opponent's looking at my Gardevoir GX deck and is like, I know exactly what that deck's going to do. I know exactly, probably could name 58 of the cards in that deck, you know, guaranteed. And, you know, I'm looking at their deck like, I have no idea what Pokemon you are going to pull out of this bag over here. And, you know, you got a Tauros, like, that's neat, but I just have no idea. Looks like they do have, you know, Garbodor, so this is a Garbodor deck, that's fine. You know, a little bit, gonna be a little bit bummed if I don't get to play that. If I don't get to play my Octillery, but that's fine. I'm going to Guzma to put the Sylveon into the active position. I'll go ahead and bench my other Ralts, and then I'm just going to Magical Ribbon, and I'm going to Magical Ribbon for probably a Parallel City if I have it, just to like, no, I don't have it, but Parallel City would be good alternative to Field Blower, just to be able to get rid of some of their stuff. Then I'm also going to get, let's see, I'll get Field Blower, that way the Octillery will definitely work next turn too because I'm Field Blowing, and then I can get a Curlia as well. So I think I could get these, and then if I get those, like I'll draw 5 cards, like that's fine. So, but then if they knock out the Ralts, I guess that's a little irresponsible, so then let's also just get like an N, just so we can play some cards. I like that. I mean, because you can see that's a little bit of an irresponsible play. Like, what if my opponent were to attach DC to Tauros, Guzma, Remoraid, knock it out? Then, like, I had projected the fact that, like, my only, you know, maybe my only draw card was Octillery. Well, I mean, they don't get to know that I have the Octillery in hand, but, you know, because it's private knowledge what I searched for with Magical Ribbon. But if they decided to go for that, then I would have been stuck there in kind of a weird situation where I didn't get to draw cards, and then I would have had to Magical Ribbon again. So I think like you definitely just want to go get the supporter there. You know, I'm cool getting the Octillery because that's just going to allow me to draw more aggressively. Have to get the Field Blower so that I can start to evolve my Pokemon without taking Potown damage. I definitely don't want to take this Potown damage. I'm not sure if like maybe my opponent plays Espeon EX to try and devolve my Pokemon, something like that. You know, you really have no idea. I have no idea what my opponent's doing. Looks like they're going to come up with Mew. Maybe they're going to Evil Ball. Maybe they're going to Horn Attack. I guess they could probably Horn Attack for like 90 right now. So that's pretty good. They're going to smack me one for 90. It's a little bit annoying, I'm not going to lie. But, you know, rocking and rolling over here. I'm going to be able to knock out that Mew pretty easily. And then I'm not really worried about being forced onto odd prizes because at some point I'll knock out one of these Garbodors too. And that's going to be fine. I'm wondering why my opponent decided to evolve the Garbodor that didn't have the Floatstone on it. Was that a Oh, because they can't. Because then they wouldn't be able to attack. So that's weird because they can't actually ability lock me until they're done with this Mew here because they need Mew's Memory of Dawn ability. Oh, he Horn attacked for like a lot. Yeah, anyway, he did it. 110. Okay, whatever. I got the double colorless here though. Let's see. I can pick my opponent's Pokemon up. I don't think that sounds very good. Probably just want to go ahead and like Fairy Wind. So let's just go ahead and do that. We're going to evolve into Remoraid. We're going to... Oh, that was a misplay. That's fine. We're going to Field Blower, that Potown, and the Floatstone. Yeah. Public service announcement. Definitely want to Field Blower your Potown before you evolve any Pokemon. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, don't be bad like me and forget. So, anyways, we're going to Abyssal Hand, fill our hand to 5. We've got a Curlia here, so that's good. I'm going to slap a Choice Band onto my Gardevoir GX, and we're just going to end. Let's end that hand away, see what we get. I got no more evolution Pokemon, so that's super annoying because I definitely want to get... Let's go ahead and Secret Spring while we can. Let's just attach Fairy Energy to my Gardevoir GX. And let's go ahead and Fairy Wind. Just get this Mew out of here and take a prize. So, there we go. Got ourselves a Fairy Energy. That's fine. It's going to get a little weird if my opponent knocks out this Sylveon GX while also locking me up with Garbodor. Like, I don't really love that. I don't really have a way to play around that. I mean, I can just Guzma up. I guess the Garbodor's got 30 damage on it, so I could just Guzma the Garbodor up and knock it out. That is an option. You know, I think that probably seems fine. I just don't want to really evolve under Potown anymore. Definitely not. So, we're just going to see whatever my opponent decides to pull out of his bag of tricks over here. I don't know. I mean, Evil Ball. Yveltal EX just seems like it's in a place where it's more or less outclassed in standard format. I don't think that the card just really has the juice to survive, given how big Pokemon are right now. I mean, Volcanion is just so good. As far as, like, big basic deck goes, it's like Yveltal EX on a big basic front is, like, outclassed by Volcanion, and Turtonator. And then on as far as like a damage output front, it's outclassed by Gardevoir GX. Gardevoir GX doesn't need to play Max Elixir because it just will Secret Spring and accelerate to itself. So I think really in all ways, this Yveltal EX is more or less outclassed now. Looks like my opponent is just playing a classic Yveltal Garbodor deck, and this list looks a lot like the Yveltal Garbodor list from like a year ago. I played Yveltal Garbodor at the Fort Wayne Regional Championships last year and lost in the finals to Jimmy Pendarvis in a Yveltal mirror match. At that point in time, a year ago in standard format, Yveltal Garbodor was insane. I think it was like the best deck in format during that era, but that's because of a couple things. But first of all, there was no tool removal. So this was before Field Blower was printed, and there was no Tool Scrapper, there was no Startling Megaphone, there was no Xerosic, there was just no way to remove tools. No way. I mean, there was like, I guess there was like a Beedrill EX that like could remove tools. That was the closest thing you could get. And it was horrible. I mean, just having to play a Beedrill EX to remove tools, nobody did that. So it was really bad. And, that made Garbodor just like the best deck because Garbodor, as soon as you put that Flowstone on there, the ability lock was staying no matter what. So I really did like that. Let's take a look at this hand here. My opponent's got Garbodor active, so I can't Secret Spring. That's like super annoying. Let's go ahead and put that energy there. And at a certain point, I'll evolve. Ugh, I don't want to evolve that. Let's just go ahead and Sycamore. Like, I don't need any of those things in that hand. That's fine. I did get the Field Blower, so that's good. Let's go ahead and Field Blower the Potown and the Floatstone there. I like that. And then I'm going to evolve here. And then Secret Spring again. Let's just Secret Spring onto... Let's just throw it onto the Gardevoir with the 3 on it. With the 2 on it. That's pretty good. And we can Abyssal for a draw of 1. That's fine. And to be honest, I'll probably just Fairy Wind this Tapu Lele. And that's okay. I could Plea GX. I mean, I could pick up my opponent's Yveltal. That would be hilarious. I could pick up their Yveltal and their Garbodor or something. Like, that would be very funny. Then my opponent, like, might not have a way to knock me out next turn. I mean, that would definitely be humorous. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I mean, there's no point in doing that, though, because they'll just take that DC, put it on Lele, and knock me out. So, like, I think I'd rather just apply some pressure, use Fairy Wind, and then, next turn, if my opponent for some reason can't knock out the Sylveon, I'll Acerola it. I think I probably don't want to Plea GX just because I want to save my GX attack for Twilight GX. Especially I could get back those Field Blowers if the ability lock is becoming a problem. I could just go ahead and do that too. So that is super cool. Man, oh man. So let's see what we got going on here. My opponent is ditching some energy there. Yikes. To go ahead and play that Ultra Ball. I wonder what they're looking for. I'm going to get a Tapu Lele. Maybe they have a Guzma. Maybe they're looking for a Guzma play. I could definitely see that if they go for Guzma, just to put some damage onto this Gardevoir GX. Let's see, they're doing 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. The Dark Resistance. I don't really see them ever getting the knockout on that Gardevoir GX. Not this turn. But they are going to Guzma something, so maybe I'll, hold my tongue until I see their whole hand. I think they definitely just want to soften up this Gardevoir GX, if I had to guess. They kind of see the Gardevoir GX as like the writing on the wall. They're going to start to get sweeped here, if they don't take care of it. I mean, the Gardevoir GX is already knocking out this Yveltal easy mode. I imagine that the Yveltal will probably Y-Cyclone. They're going to want to throw, double colorless on the bench or something like that so they don't just get, like, easily return knocked out. I could, let's see, they did not get a Floatstone down. I could just go ahead and, Acerola. I could just Acerola the Gardevoir up into my hand, and then I could just accelerate, some energy back down here, but I don't necessarily like that because I want to just get the knockout on this Yveltal this turn. So I could Acerola up the Sylveon, put the DCE on the active, accelerate, to my bench Gardevoir here. I think that probably makes more sense. Let's just go ahead and do that. Get this damaged dude up. Let's just attach the double colorless to my active so I can get the knockout there. And then let's go ahead and Secret Spring twice onto this benched Gardevoir GX so that I have an option to come in big with some big hitters after this Gardevoir GX goes down. Because, you know, I'm not going to lie, that Gardevoir GX in the active position is definitely going to get knocked out next turn. We know this. It's not a big deal. So let's just go ahead and we're going to Infinite Force. Take that knockout. Do that 180 damage. Go down to 3 prizes. Then I'm going to have to find another way to, you know, I'm going to knock out whatever opponent, you know, my Pokemon my opponent puts up. I think actually I should have put a Tapu Lele down and Wonder Tagged for a Sycamore, just because this turn, in case my opponent decides to lock abilities back up, I'm in a little bit of a precarious position if I can't draw into the energy I need to knock out my opponent with, you know, with this Gardevoir here. Just because they're doing 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. They're doing just enough to energy drive. Looks like I am going to be able to use my Octillery next turn to draw more cards, so I probably will not have any trouble getting this knockout. However, you guys see how, like, I potentially should have used the Tapu Lele there just to make sure that I'm getting what I want. I could Parallel City, but I don't really think that I want to Parallel City because they'll probably just remove this wicked Tapu Lele there on the bench, and I don't want to just give them that. I will evolve into Curlia, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and Wonder Tag for a Sycamore. There's no point in ending. My opponent's, like, not doing anything good. So I could have, let's see. I could have, like, Guzma'd up that bench Tapu Lele, but I don't really have any interest in knocking that out unless it's for game. So let's just go ahead and Sycamore. I want to draw more cards, set up more attackers, see more things, do more things. That's what I want to do, so we're going to do it. Let's just get rid of those cards. I want a big Gardevoir, and I want it now, so let's just do that. 2, 4, 6, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Got the knockout there. My opponent also does not have Garbodor out, so I can play these cards here. I think I'm going to Ultra Ball the Rare Candy and the Ultra Ball, and I'm just going to get that Gardevoir there preemptively. I know I can't evolve it yet, and I do thin down my hand. I can Secret Spring one more time. I think I'm just going to put that onto the benched Curlia, and then I'm going to Abyssal Hand for a few cards just so that I have them. All right, and I got a Super Rod. I could throw some things back into the deck if I want to. Maybe I throw a Lele back in, maybe a couple fairies. That seems fine. Let's throw some fairy energies back into the deck and a Lele just in case I need it to pull a win out, something like that. You know, if my opponent doesn't get ability lock back up. And then let's just Infinite Force. I mean, we're definitely looking for a situation right now where all we want is just like Guzma for game. So that is pretty good. I mean, I got 2 Guzmas in my hand. I wanted to throw a Lele back in case my opponent ends me. Then I can, like, Guzma for, you know, I can Lele for Guzma for game. So just to have my options open here. And then we should be closing this one out. So let's go, Mr. Hicks. Go ahead, get that Lele out of here. Argon kicked his butt. And let's see, show me what you got. My opponent promotes the Lele with the 110 damage on it. That means, you know, are they going for a Guzma? Do they have a Floatstone in their hand? I'm not really sure. You know, usually when the opponent promotes a Pokemon that's not really, doesn't really make sense as an attacker, it's because they're going to Guzma or just slap a Floatstone on it or something. But no, they just promoted it. They had no cares. I don't know what they're going for there, but maybe they're on a suicide mission out here. I don't know. With this Tapu Lele, 110 damage. Maybe they think they're going to hit a max potion. Oh, they're just retreating. Oh, I see what my opponent did there. They promoted the Lele with the energy on it because technically, like, I guess they wanted to retreat that energy off so that, you know, because I do less damage to it. So it doesn't really matter, though, because I just have, you know, Guzma. I'm still doing 3, 6, and 60 damage is enough to knock out a Lele. By removing the energy from their guy there, they made it so that I would do less damage to them, but I still do enough to win the game, so it doesn't really matter. Anyways, good game, Mr. Hicks. We're going to go ahead and Infinite Force for knockout there, 170 damage. And thank you all for watching Gardevoir GX versus Yveltal EX Garbodor. Let me know what you think of these decks in the comments below. Thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment, do all that great stuff, ring that bell. Thank you all for watching. Peace.